Hello friends, it's Susie with Susie's Natural Health Movement. I am here today to teach you how to make kefir. It's one of my, or kefir, it depends on the part of the world and how you say it. It's like tomato, kefir, kefir, that's just whatever. But I say kefir, it's easier for me. Anyway, this is one of the best things you can do for your overall health, even our mental health, because drinking kefir every day is like putting a bunch of good guys in your stomach to fight off all the bad guys, all that good bacteria. So probiotics on the market today are really expensive to buy. They can cost you a pretty penny, but this is such a better way to do it, even more so than store-bought kefir, because they can only have so many strains of probiotics in there, where homemade kefir can actually contain up to 30 cultures and a 40 billion count of probiotics. So some say even up to 150. There's all sorts of data out there, but just know that making your homemade kefir is much better than buying store-bought. So it's worth that little bit of time, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. But having probiotics in our stomach can help with our overall skin health. It helps with our mental health because most of our serotonin neurotransmitters are made in the gut. So if we don't have a healthy gut, we can't get the serotonin that we need. So putting in these live probiotics for kefir is such a great way to improve mental health as well. A lot of IBS, irritable bowel, all of the digestive disorders, all of those types of things can be improved when you have enough probiotics in your diet. So this is a great way that's inexpensive, super easy to do, and you'll see that it just takes a couple minutes a week, truly. So, and it's also lactose free. So if you can't drink dairy, just know that the kefir grains actually eat up all the lactose in the milk. And so anybody who's lactose intolerant can actually drink kefir as well. You can also make water kefir, but we prefer to do the dairy. I find that I end up adding too much sugar and things like that in the water. So anyway, improves your overall immunity as well. So many benefits. So anybody who needs more probiotics in their life, which is all of us, this is the drink to do. So let me show you how simple it can be. So you can see right now I have had this sitting on my counter for about 24 hours. Depending on how warm your home is, it's about 24 to 48 hours. And I lightly have the lid on here so that it can breathe. And you can also put a cheesecloth over it or something like that, but I prefer just to put the lids on. But you can see how it's separating that curds and whey, kind of. You can see that liquid there, and you can see how thick it is. See, as I jiggle that, it's thick. It's not like liquid milk. So you can tell it's thickening. This is making a drinkable yogurt. So this is like a nice thick culture that we have going here. Those kefir grains have eaten up all the lactose and all the sugar that's in it as well. So now we have a sugar-free, basically drinkable yogurt. So as we strain this off, you'll be able to see that we're going to separate the grains. This is the strainer. It has to be plastic. You can't use metal because the metal can have a chemical reaction with the probiotic. And so we want to use a plastic one. I'll try to include a link for the strainer. It's really great. And then we're only using plastic and glass. So if you want to come in here, we're just going to pour this in. And you can see how thick it is. It's a little chunky. I know it seems totally gross if you're not used to fermenting anything. My kids think I'm doing science experiments and tell me that I'm gross, but it's okay because we're healthy. So anyway, as you take the back of a clean spatula, you just kind of push that through until you can start to see, it looks like almost little ground up gummy bears. See those little things? So these are the kefir grains. It looks like cauliflower or ground up gummy bears. So you just scrape those off, and then you're gonna put those into a clean jar. So I have a clean jar right here. I'm just gonna stick those in there. And then I'm gonna pour milk into it. If you can buy raw milk, even better than regular milk. I buy full fat cow's milk, vitamin D. I believe in good healthy fats. They keep us fuller longer, keep us satisfied, and not continually binging on all those foods that aren't so good for us. So I have about 1 to 2 tablespoons of kefir grains, maybe about 1 here, but 1 to 2 tablespoons will feed up to 4 cups of the milk. So if you just had that 1 tablespoon or less, you might just want to do 2 cups, like in a pint jar. But the kefir grains do proliferate and grow and expand. And so as they do that, you might get to the point where you have several tablespoons, like 2 to 4, and you can divide those in half and share your grains with someone else. Because you don't want more than about 2 tablespoons of kefir grains per 4 cups of milk, because it will eat it up so fast, and then they can potentially die if you don't strain them before they don't have any food left to eat. Does that make sense? So they have to have enough food to eat to stay alive. So speaking of that, since I won't go through this in the next 24 hours, I'm going to put mine in the fridge. So you just screw on your lid. I love these lids from Amazon, these plastic ones. You screw them on and stick it in the fridge. This can stay in the fridge up to a week. I think I've even done 10 days and they still stayed alive. So you just put that in your fridge and you're good to go. And when I'm ready to process it, I just take it out of the fridge, loosen the lid, set it on there just like that, and let it stay for another 24 to 48 hours until that curds and whey is kind of starting to separate. You can see it thickening. The longer you let it sit, the more sour it's gonna get. Your kefir's gone bad if you smell it. It's like a really off rancid smell or like has a colored layer on top. You don't want it to color and dry out. It's definitely gonna taste sour, almost like a sour milk, because it's kind of what it is. And then I just take my strainer and I'll just put it under my sink with hot water. And I don't want to use a lot of soaps or anything on this because that can harm the good bacteria as well. A lot of soaps are antibacterial. So just use some good hot water and just strain that off just like that. And then with this kefir that's done, I'm just gonna pour it in the jar. And then I'm gonna put this in the fridge now. So it's been sitting on my counter to process, but now I'm gonna stick it in the fridge and it will be good for about a week. But if I'm done with it in a couple days, if we've drank a lot of kefir, then I would pull this out and let it process for 24 hours and then I'd be good to go. And then strain and then start over again. So super duper easy. Store those both in your fridge until that one's ready to process. And every day as a drink, this is how I take mine. I take about a half a cup and I just stick it in if I'm not making a smoothie. If I'm making a smoothie for the morning, I'll just throw it in my smoothie. And it's really just like adding Greek yogurt to your smoothie. That's kind of what it's like a drinkable Greek yogurt that's plain, that's unsweetened, things like that. So I can add a little scoop of jam, a little teaspoon of jam and flavor it, make it like strawberry. If I want a little bit more sweet, or just sweeten it by itself, a couple liquid stevia drops, really only like 1 or 2 would be enough. You know me, I love taking my cod liver oil every day for my omega-3s, so I'll pour in my teaspoon to a tablespoon of that. Another fun way to sweeten is like these natural syrups. You can do a tiny bit of syrup, just like a teaspoon, not a lot. And then just drink it up. But if you're trying to get your kids to drink it, I highly recommend putting it in smoothies because they won't taste it or know that it's there. It's just gonna make it creamy. And once again, if you need to sweeten it a little bit, give it a little stevia drop or 2 or your preferred sweetener and just sweeten it up. So that's about how simple it is. The main thing that's just different needing, that most people might not have is that strainer. If you want to order kefir grains, I'll attach a link that you can buy them on Amazon, or you can order from thekefirlady.com. They're usually about $20 for your kefir grains, but they'll live forever if you take care of them. So simple, easy way to get in all those good probiotics. So cheers.